Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for watching. It's Saturday. Snuck up here this morning just to get some stuff done on the truck, and here's what we got. Got the reservoirs mounted in the rear, like I was telling everybody how they would mount on the last video. So those look awesome. That's why I went with steel it, because I was able to weld the brackets on, come back, a little more steel it over top, and there you go. No having to grind paint off or anything. You literally weld right through it. So did that on both sides. Got the spare mounted up. Glad I went ahead and decided to kick this thing up there, because how I plan on doing my straps isn't gonna work. This strap started there and it's just pulling and loosening up and walking its way all the way down the tube. So now I know the strap will have to probably, I was thinking in the middle here, we'll put them in the middle. What I think I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna loop around this bar itself and then come around, because that way then it can't move. The front is pretty simple. It just loops around the bar itself up there. It is definitely not going anywhere. I can't move it. Up front, went ahead and mounted the lights. So we have S2s, LP4s, and then on the side right here, Squadron Sports. Those guys right there will be my running around on the street lights, because they're not overly bright. Like even the Pros S2s are stupid bright. Any Pro Baja Design is stupid bright to the point you don't really want to run on the street. That's why my 4Runner, I've got the Squadron Pros in my fog lights in amber, and I can't run them on the street. They're just way too bright. I get high beamed all the time. So we went with Sports. I know they make SAE Squadrons, but they're more of an auxiliary lighting than a actual light that you need to drive at night. So we're gonna run the Sports, because while they are still stupid bright, they are not overpowering where you're gonna get high beamed. If someone does high beam, we have these guys to show them that those aren't my actual high beams. So let me kind of explain why I did the pattern here that I'm doing. All right, so Baja Designs have got the lighting down to a science, thus why their motto is the scientists of lighting. So imagine this is your vehicle right here. You can see cornering, cargo, backup, dust fog, driving combo, spot, and then their racer edition. I'm not putting any racer edition stuff on this, simply because we use it as a display vehicle as well, to kind of explain people why we do what we do. Because this thing will be at like trade shows and stuff, along with racing and having fun in the woods. So front here, we have dust, fog, zone 1, driving combo, zone 2, zone 4 is a spot. So I know everybody thinks Ultra 4 vehicles are really, really fast. I was talking to, I believe, Diego at Baja, and we were kind of crunching numbers and what lights I needed to do. And I think the average speed of an Ultra 4 race truck at most events, not King of Hammers, because King of Hammers has more open desert, obviously, but like around Ultra 4, I think it was like 25 to 35, maybe 40 miles an hour was the average speed, with top speed being 50 to 60. Granted, a lot of that is not at night, that is during the day, but if you get caught out at night, or it is a night race, so you don't need a ton of, like you see some guys run all the Squadrons on the roof, or the XLs on the roof, or they run major bars and massive LP9, LP6s all around it. It's a little overkill, and I know this because my 4Runner, I have the one S8 on the roof and the 2 in the fogs, and going down the highway, I kick that sucker on, I can see almost a mile ahead of me. It is ridiculous. So if you notice all the lights I did, we did driving combos for every single one of them. So explain driving combo here. Obviously, it's kind of in the name. It's a driving light that is combo, right? So this is your wide cornering section and this is your spot section. So you kind of get the best of both worlds. They do make spots and they do make wide cornering all over. We love these lights here at Apex that are the combos because again, you get the best of both worlds. So what does that mean? Well, let's kind of go over the other two lights that are options. You have the spot, which are really like a laser beam, honestly. They throw light out a good 30 to 50 feet is where the contact patch is usually on the road. While that's great, it's not great if you're trying to get the best of both worlds. And they have the wide cornering. Those are kind of my second choice behind these because they throw a ton of light left and right, but you don't get that throw out to a distance there. So kind of went best of both worlds for everything. We did a little amber S2 here just to add a little bit of contrast because if you white out everything, I know some of you guys have all white lights. If you add a little bit of amber to it, it's awesome. And I'm actually thinking about switching these lenses out on these LP4s to amber as well. Because thinking about doing two S10 light bars here and here. And those will be spot just in case I do need something out there. Come back to our chart here. Dust fog. Notice how it's kind of amber colored for a reason. And driving combo, obviously, here we go. So that is kind of why the light setup I did. If you guys have never seen these lights on in person and you're local to us, let us know. We've got displays. We've got vehicles out in the parking lot that have these, like my personal one. These suckers right here are awesome at night, fog, rain, snow. Those are nice. These right here will put out more light than anything anybody ever needs. And then if you need more for some reason, they have an S6 or an LP6 and an LP9. The LP9s are the sun. So that is why we're doing. Obviously we have more lights. We've got rock lights that we're gonna do. I have to figure out where I'm gonna place all four of those. We've got the rear tail light, and then we also have the two dome lights that are going there. That'll be a different date. And that was almost a 5-minute rant of one take. So here we go. What I'm doing currently right now before I head out of here is the rear firewall. I just need to get the tabs, the quarter turns like we've done in other videos for the paneling. Rear firewall can be quarter turned. It's the floor that can't be. The floor, some reason you can't quarter turn it, they have to be bolted down. Isn't a big deal. I just have to make little tabs with weld washers in the back of them. But for the firewall, this is what I have going on. Taking the firewall, it is 53 inches from the inside of that tube to the inside of that tube, and it's 41 from middle of that tube down to the middle of that tube down there. So I cut a piece of cardboard up, we shoved it in place, we did notch it there, there, and there to work around some tube work. It's clamped in place. What I'm gonna do then, or what I'm getting ready to do, is trace out the back side. So it'll be solid here, solid all in here, minus where the seat belts pass through. And obviously the vents for the radiator, so I'll mark where the radiator actually is on the cardboard, where my belts have to go through, and then we'll mark every other tube as well, because as you can see, we need to trim the excess. And then we'll have a template for the piece of aluminum that will be my full rear firewall. So there we go. Traced it out, kind of got the cutout that the radiator needs to be best I can. And all this is gonna do is help me trim the shape up that I need. So I'll cut halfway into the outer roll bar hoops. Boom, there you go. And then I can go ahead and cut that out, My seatbelt hole should be there and there, so I can go ahead and cut that out. Then I can put this back in, make sure everything fits right, add, subtract. Looks like I forgot a line there, not a big deal. And yeah, kind of helps you lay out your firewall. I'm hoping to make it one full piece because you don't really need to service anything behind it. I have nothing that I'm going to put on it that you have to take the firewall out to be able to do anything. The radiator and all that stuff is on the back side. It comes out the back side. The fuel tank is there, but you don't need to get anything because you're getting everything from the side and the top. It's literally just a firewall. So I was thinking about making it two pieces, but there's just not a need for it. And then later on, our trans cooler will be over there in that back corner behind the passenger seat's head. So before we cut this out of metal, we will figure out where that mounts and the pass-through for it as well. All right, so I got that radiator squared up, measured. The lines were a little off, but not bad for me marking with the Sharpie and just eyeballing it. And now I'm cutting out the seatbelt pass-throughs. Obviously this one won't be an issue. So to make this make sense, the seatbelt on the driver's side will go around this tube, and this tube is separating. So transpose that over to this seatbelt there and there. Don't need to worry about that one because it's gonna get cut out with the radiator. This one is the one we're working on. I've already done that side. Let me show you how to do this. Super easy. I just grabbed a tape roll because you can use it for easy radiuses. I guess you could do a protractor tube. That's getting a little too fancy. I'm centering it on that mark. Coming around. Ooh, it moved because I'm trying to do this with one hand. But yeah, come around like that. Slide it over even there. And do the same thing. Boom, remove it. I'll grab the square. We'll square those holes up. And as you can see, it lines up with the radiator hole perfectly, which works out. All right, there we go. Making sense now. So, go around front here. You can see it lines up with the radiator. We have our seatbelt pass through. Obviously this whole edge will be covered with edge trim so it's not super sharp. And then the whole face for the radiator has to be covered with mesh for rocks and such, so it doesn't hit your radiator. But kind of see what we're going for. Looking and just eyeballing where the outside seat mount is right there to where the belt is, we are good. Because I got my seat on the ground, mounts right there, comes straight out, belt. So that should be good. Everything fits right. It can go in and out as one piece, not bending it, which is awesome. But we'll just cover that whole thing in mesh and we will be good to go. And then the whole thing will be quarter turned and all that fun stuff too. But I think that's gonna be it for me today. It's Saturday. I'll go home and let the kids ride the little Razor 170. We bought them today a little bit and spend some time with the family. But thanks for watching. This is kind of gonna stay this way for the next week because we have a busy week coming up. But after we're starting to get, we'll call that a body panel on, it's actually starting to look like something. So thanks, like, subscribe, share. Try to get those watch hours up. We hit the 1,000 subscribers. When we start getting some more views and stuff like that, we will start doing a little more. I've got some secret projects working right now. So see you guys later. Bye.